today to talk about livestock risk protection. One of the things that we're seeing for this spring is we're having a lot of conversations about how it truly works. How does this work? I bet I've had 10 bankers in the last 2 weeks call me trying to look at helping their customers protect their current positions. And the conversation has gotten repeated over and over and over. And I think people overcomplicate livestock risk protection. It's a pretty simple thing. Is you pick a day and time. We try and pick the closest contract date by weeks to the time you think you're going to market your cattle. You got to own the cattle when you start. You need to own them within 60 days of the end of the contract. But if you got to sell them early, it's okay because of a drought, or you want to carry them on past the date. It doesn't matter. We're going to protect the value for that time period on those cattle. If you have the cattle at the end date, you sell them about the same time. If the market goes up, you realize all the gain on the cattle, and you only lose your premium on this piece. So keep that in mind. It's not as complicated. A lot of people are trying to make this really hard, and it's really no more than we have a price after 4 o'clock until 9 o'clock the next morning that's put out every day for the LRP pricing. And then you pick the day, that day that we can give you that closest to your contract. And then the feeder cattle index, the 12-state average, is what makes it up. You don't have to touch it or do anything or pay anything till the end. So keep that in mind. And we're going to talk about a couple different contracts that it seems like they're up every week. About 3 weeks ago we were talking about 245 on these cattle, or a month ago. We're at 257 right now on these October 25th cattle, like Halloween, I guess, for this fall. It's $38 a head. And we've tried to kind of pick a marketing strategy for our customers right now. But somewhere in this cycle, these cattle are going to come down. So we got $1,400 steers in there at that price. Steer weight one's 550 pounds. Somewhere in the 3 or 4 year period, those cattle typically go back, and we looked at the 2014, when we got into, I don't remember the exact date, 15 or 16, probably 2016 on those cattle. They went from $2.50 to $1.60 pretty quick on those light calves. We're going to have some more data for you next week exactly on that, and so don't hold me to the exact month, but those cattle lost $500 or $600 a head in a matter of a few months. So the marketing strategy we're trying to talk to our customers about is, so let's pick, let's say we're going to spend $100 over the next 3 years to protect that $500 decline in the market. We don't know where it's going to be. If we did, we wouldn't be doing this. We'd be invested somewhere pretty heavily. And I don't think any of us knows exactly where this thing starts and stops. But we know it's already started. We just got to figure out the stopping point. And if we can give ourselves a 3 year hedge on a $500 decline on these calves for $100, or just say you want to spend 25 years, figure a budget you want to spend on your cattle. And we'll walk you through what that looks like for this year. Obviously, we don't know what next year looks like, but it's been pretty consistent, the pricing on the board, what it costs. But that 550 pound calf for the fall is $6.91 a hundred, $38 a head. One of the other things to keep in mind, we're talking about our unborn calves for the following spring right now. So they figure an average blended on your unborn calves. If you own the cows right now for the fall, you've got them bred, they're going to have calves in the fall. And we pick the amount of cattle of the cows. We can do those calves for $243 a hundred for next March for your fall calves, unborn right now. They're just in their mama's belly for $48 a head for $243 average on the heifers and steers for next spring. That's a pretty good hedge against calves that aren't even born yet. There's some things we'll have to work through with you on the details of that if you call in, but like I said, in the last 2 weeks, we've talked to 10 to 20 bankers about this thing. They're consistently calling. It's a pretty good way for you to talk to your banker or your partners about this and help hedge the future of this thing for not that many dollars in the bigger picture, because it wasn't that long ago these things were $1.80 in the last fall, maybe $1.70 on some of them cattle. We took a big swing. Let's take advantage of it, keep it in our pocket, because that decline will come. Where, we don't know. If we had that crystal ball, we'd be doing something else. But keep that in mind. Clay's going to talk about 750 pound steers.
We're going to look at out there next spring, out next March. The coverage price on them is $232.53. It's costing $62 a head, but we're covering them cattle so high, and we're protecting a $1,740 price. You know, we have.
That'd be on a 750-pound steer.
That would be on a 750-pound steer, yes, sir. So, you know, we haven't seen that price in a long time, and there's really nothing out there that we can, you know, we can show and say, hey, we're protected all the way up here, all the way out until next year. So it's something you can really lay your head in the pillow and know, hey, I'm protected in case something does happen tomorrow.
Give us a call. You know, we have several people on staff here that can answer your questions on the LRP. We think we have as well-trained staff as anybody. We've probably done I think we've only done 600 or 700 head this week. We typically do from 1,000 to 3,000 head a week on these contracts right now. Obviously, it's an up market. Everything seems to be on a pretty up track. So keep that in mind. You know, and we understand until things change, they don't feel it's time to pull the trigger. But I also want to make sure you understand something, that when it does shift, if we don't have an application on file, it's a 2-page application. We have till 9 o'clock that morning to capture that market if there's going to be a big swing in the market the upcoming day. And if I don't have your app in there, our current customers will be priority, because we will not have 10 or 15 minutes to work through that in that time period in the morning. Our current customers will come first. So if you think you're going to even be interested at all in the market and you want to capture that date, because if that market starts running down, it happens pretty fast. Make sure you get a hold of Danielle here in our office at 417-359-5470. We'll get that thing on file. Then you're ready to go when that time comes. Thank you for your time today. Have a great day.